just got to give it the old clap, make sure both audios are synced. All right, so first question I have for you, Kevin. After watching Norway dominate another Olympics and hearing about their youth sport model, is there any inspiration for adopting parts of their model to Calgary's hockey system?
Well, we kind of function underneath the Hockey Canada umbrella, so we are dealt the hand we're dealt as far as some of the different programs. In Calgary, we do a very good job of trying to keep statistics off our website, so that's something that we don't publish. At the U9 level, U7 level, we don't have official game scores, so we have adopted that at U9 and down. Once you hit the U11 level, then there's some gameplay and on up through the things. But from a statistic perspective, we don't believe in publishing those for our community hockey program.
Awesome. So what would you say is Hockey Calgary's focus when it comes to youth sports?
Well, number one, it's got to be fun. I think the game gets too serious too quick, so fun is number one. I think development's number two. Every league except maybe the NHL is a development league, so we're always developing our players. And I think safety is a big thing for us. We have to find a sport that's safe. We hear too many stories. We always hear the bad stories, but we want to keep it safe. At the end of the day, we're really developing future leaders for our community. There's very few players from our program or from any program that go on to play in the NHL. So if we can make people lifelong hockey players and develop future leaders in our community, then we're doing a good job.
Awesome. Perfect. What resources are given by Hockey Calgary to organizations and coaches so they can effectively operate their teams?
Well, there's lots of coaching clinics that everybody takes. There's standard things. That's one great thing about being part of a huge governing body like Hockey Canada and Hockey Alberta is that the base courses are always provided by those organizations. We're always trying to add to that. We do our own coaching seminars. We do coach nights. We do different things like that. In this day and age, there's always education around concussions and education around mental health, and so we do a few different programs to help out in those areas too. But it's a challenge because volunteer burnout is another issue we face, and how many things can you continue to put on top of your coaches? So it's a real balancing act of providing them with the right tools and the right education, but then giving them the time so they can do the things that they need to do.
Absolutely. Would you say there's been a shift on the focus of mental health of young players? And how does Hockey Calgary help those who are struggling?
Well, again, that's something that we're always trying to educate. With a couple of different programs we have, Connect Sports, one that we utilize to target mental health. But we need to remember that our coaches are volunteers too, and they're not experts in this field. So we have to walk that line. They want to identify, and if they see a child is having trouble, they want to direct them to the right resources versus trying to solve the problem themselves. So again, giving the resources that they can give to a child or give to a young adult is the best way for us to go versus trying to be the expert in that area.
Right. Has there been a growth in the no body contact leagues, especially for the U18 age group?
That's probably one of the biggest successes in my time here at Hockey Calgary. I've been here 13 years now. 10 years ago, we implemented non-body checking at both the U15 and U18 levels. And what we've seen over time is the competitiveness has gotten better and better. The quality of those leagues has gotten better and better. The safety is paramount, and it's there. And we're seeing more kids stay in the game. We still have probably about a 30% loss of players at the U15 and U18 level. We think it's down to about 10 to 15 now. So we have more players playing at the U15, U and 18 levels than we ever have in my tenure this year. And again, we just had the provincial championships here this past weekend, and we saw some great action in the non-body contact league. So we're very happy with that program.
Perfect. Are there any kind of stigmas around those leagues, or with its rise in popularity, has that kind of gone away?
I think initially it did. I think when we first launched it, there were some people that said, we're making the game too soft and body checking has to be part of it. But at the end of the day, if you're playing low level or mid level U18, U15 hockey, you're not really going on to play junior college or pro. And you're probably moving on to play beer league in 2 years' time. So do we really need it? And again, from a safety element, I was watching my first couple of years, kids trying to body check, and again, their skill set wasn't there. They needed to focus on skating, shooting, and passing versus body checking. So I think, when they're capable to manage those skills, that we want to make sure that we provide that opportunity for the players.
Absolutely. How much of an impact does the rise in the cost of equipment have on participation numbers?
Well, that's a tough one. We do our very best to keep our costs down in the city of Calgary, keep our registration costs down, and give kids the opportunity to play. You know, when we did a study a few years back, we figured it out to, between the games, the practices, and all the things we provided, it was about a $16 per hour cost to play the game of hockey. Now that doesn't include the equipment, the sticks, the travel and tournaments, and those are things that really add to the cost. But the core base price of hockey isn't as bad as everybody thinks. It's the add-ons that cost. So equipment, graphite sticks, all the different things, yeah, they add cost. I wish it wouldn't, but those things are a little bit out of our control.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I went to go get my skate sharpened recently. Was looking at all like the intermediate sticks and seeing them $400. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
And you're not that old.
No, exactly, exactly. How much of an or how much is the risk of overparenting play? Do parents paying tons of money so their kids are in top leagues affect the ecosystem of the sport?
Well, I always say it's great to have passionate customers, and it's a challenge to have passionate customers. We have a lot of passionate hockey parents out there, and the number one thing they're doing is trying to provide the best opportunities for their kids. At the same time, as I said before, we're not sending a lot of kids to the NHL. We've had a few kids come out of Calgary. We're very fortunate. The last Olympics, we had 4 Calgary-based kids that made that team. Unfortunately, that's not going to be there for everybody. So I don't know if overparenting is the right terminology. They want the best for their child, and they will spend the money to do it. Sometimes it may be not the right way to spend their money. They could probably do a lot better financially by putting it into a savings account. But that's their choice, and then we try to provide the best program that we can for the dollars we offer.
Yeah, for sure. What are the areas of improvement for retaining or raising participation statistics?
Well, probably our biggest challenge right now is ice. We are fortunate in Calgary. We continue to grow. We are close to 15,000 players in the city of Calgary. Maybe not keeping pace with the community and the growth in this community, but we're still outpacing a lot of minor hockey organizations across the country. So now we're at the point of we don't have the ice to provide more services. I think Hockey Canada has done a great job with their first shift program. We've been very passionate about that program. We operate 9 or 10 of those a year. Plus we created a Junior Flames program, which is a transitional program from first choice to move kids into community hockey. So we are seeing pickup, we're seeing growth, but I think you have to continue to offer those programs for people new to the game or new Canadians, and then we need to continue to focus on ice and how do we get more ice in this community. And it's not cheap to build arenas, and as everybody can see in Calgary, our infrastructure is getting old. A lot of the arenas in this city were built in the 60s and 70s, and they're past their life cycle. So, we need to continue to push to get more ice in the city of Calgary.
Mm-hmm. In my research for this project, I found that Norway's youth sports get a lot of funding from their state-sponsored sports gambling and lotteries. Does Hockey Calgary already get some sort of funding from Play Alberta?
We don't. That's not to say that the branches, Hockey Alberta, BC Hockey, they may get, or does Hockey Canada get, but does it trickle down to us in other ways? It could be, but from a direct, from the lotteries to us, there's no direct line from us at all.
Would that be something that you might look to petition for in the future?
It's probably not something where we're going to go down that road. I think we continue to look for sponsorships. We continue to look for people to give back to our community. But I don't think that's some area we've dug into at this point in time.
Absolutely. Does private equity create a problem for youth hockey?
Well, they're out there trying to do their thing. I think, I guess not directly, but probably indirectly, I would say. Again, those are things that we can't control. It's the world we live in, and we have to manage things we can control. We can control our product, we can control the ice and the resources, we can control the coaching, the development we do, and we have to stay in our lane as far as that's concerned.
Absolutely. And then the last question I have for you is, what does Hockey Calgary consider a successful hockey season?
Well, winning is nice, but it's not everything. Not everybody can be a champion at the end of the year. I think number one, having the kids having fun. I think kids staying in the game. We look at our numbers every year to see that our players are coming back year after year. So I think that's successful to us. I think safety-wise, statistics on injury. I think we always look at those to make sure. And then, again, just enjoying the great game of hockey. Participating and continue to play. Like I said, we're seeing growth in female, we're seeing growth in rec, we're seeing growth in non-body checking. It's not all about the elite, and unfortunately we hear a lot about the bad in hockey. We never hear about the good. I think 95% of hockey is good. People are having fun doing the right thing, but the stuff that gets glorified, the stuff we hear in the media, is the 5% that challenges us. So, but success is, keeping kids in the game, keeping them off the streets, and making good community leaders out of our kids.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. That's all I got for you.
There you go. Hey, I told you I could do this in one take.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not my first rodeo.
No, exactly.